Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Candy, a miniseries based on a true story with Jessica Biel as the main character. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 8, right, Little Joan? All right. So the trailer. First off, Jessica Biel. They've dressed down, obviously, because she's normally smoking hot. They made her look like this housewife from the 70s who apparently had an affair with her best friend's husband because she was so bored, and ended up in a fight with her, which ended in Candy killing her with an axe. So the question is, and she was acquitted of the murder because she argued that she was attacked. She confessed to the affair to her friend, and then her friend attacked her with an axe, and then she either picked up another axe or picked up the same axe and killed her in self-defense. And then the miniseries, I guess, is about the trial and everything that happened that led up to it. It's a 5-night event. I mean, they've done this before. I'll say this about the trailer. Let's talk about the trailer first. The trailer is not good because I was confused. I mean, there was an implication something bad had happened, and it said, based on disturbingly true events. So what I expected was a very convoluted, messed up story about a woman who really did some screwed up things. Now, is it screwed up to kill your friend with an axe? Oh yeah, sure. But when two couples are having an affair, it's not totally beyond the pale for somebody to get killed, because people snap when their marriages are broke sometimes, and especially with an affair with somebody you knew. Whew, cannot imagine. So, you know, as Chris Rock famously said in one of his bits, if you ain't never thought of murder, you ain't never been in love. And it's true. It really is. So, this is a mini series about the true events. And of course, Jessica Biel, I guess, is trying to transition to serious actress, which, commendable. I mean, she definitely looks the part. It's very 70s kind of look. I had to look up, but I had to look up a lot to figure out what the hell this trailer was about and what the story was about. So I think as a trailer, this totally fails. Okay? It should be, and I get kind of why they're trying to not tell you there's a murder in this, but that's the only thing that would lead to this kind of court trial, I think. Or one so serious that took place in the early 80s that you'd say, oh, this must be an important thing. And when you say disturbingly true events, I think you mean something a little beyond, just murder. I know that sounds weird to say, but when you're comparing it to other, recreations of true events, I mean, there's been some pretty messed up stories out there, right? So when you say disturbingly true events and you don't really have them, I mean, it's again, it is disturbing she killed her friend, but when you hear the evidence, when you hear that, yeah, she got off because turned out she told her friend she was having an affair with her husband, she snapped, grabbed an axe, they fought, she ended up killing her friend with the axe. I mean, it's not good, and you could argue it's disturbing, but it's not so out of the realm, because when you suggest that it's disturbingly true events, I think you're, I mean, I literally expected much worse. I expected her, like, she tied her up and tortured her and killed her husband and killed a bunch of people or something. When you compare this to, say, there was a movie like this about Jeffrey Dahmer before he became the famous murderer. I think it was called My Friend Dahmer. Like, that to me is kind of disturbing. And that guy was messed up, right? I mean, he committed a lot of heinous crimes. If you were doing something about Dahmer and you said disturbingly true events, yeah, sure, it was very disturbing. This is, it's not good. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it doesn't rise to the level of disturbing if the metric is movies about murderers. And I'm not, at some level, I mean, she was acquitted. So they're saying that the murder was justified, essentially, legally. So, I mean, I guess you could, I think a more appropriate thing would have been to say something like, based on bizarre true events. But they're not even that bizarre when you think about it. People have affairs. People get killed over them. I mean, this has happened. So, maybe not even use that tack to promote it. Based on the true story of the heinous murder, something like that. And I guess it's going to be one of these movies where you wonder, did she not? Did she lie about it? So, if I had to guess, I think it's a 5-episode miniseries. The first one or two, maybe one and a half, they could do it a bunch of different ways. One way, of course, is you start with the trial and then you flash back and then tell the story that happened, or you tell it in chronological order, where like the first episode is about Candy, starting up her affair. The second episode leads into the murder. Then the rest of the episodes are about the court case and the fallout from that. Ending with the scroll. Here's, today Candy lives in blah blah blah. Sorry if I'm ruining it for you, but you could look it up in 10 seconds. And quite frankly, it shouldn't be a surprise when it's based on something this true. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant to be a surprise. It's not a narrative. Narratives, for the most part, should be a surprise. For something like this based on true events, I don't know what hiding it does when anybody could look it up with a couple of Google searches. Although I have to say, it took me more than a couple. It was a little hard to find the deets on this. And I was expecting something shocking and disturbing, and it was just like, oh, okay. For the 70s, this would have been shocking and disturbing, I think. So, I don't know. It's just Hollywood retreading another murder. It's in the 70s, so, the set designers get to go nuts, and they get to find locations and whatnot that look exactly the same, and they get the old vintage cars and etc., etc., etc. That part of it's kind of fun. It's fun to watch that, especially if you remember that stuff from the era. I guess it'll be an interesting character study, but ultimately you don't know what went through this woman's head. No one does. We don't really know what she did or didn't do, and it's just as likely the Hollywood guys are exaggerating it for dramatic effect in order to sell the damn thing. I mean, I guess in my view, the trailer didn't do that enough, really. I don't know. I don't know if I'd watch this or not. I mean, it's on Hulu, so I'm probably not going to watch it, but it just seems weird. You got Jessica Biel, super hot Jessica Biel. She could, You know, why can't you do a murderess who was like in a bikini? Like, why not do that movie? Guess you picked this one. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I think it'll be entertaining. I do. You know, for the people who are into this stuff, and there's a whole bunch of people who love this true crime stuff. But it feels like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel of that, doesn't it? A little bit. Maybe because there's so many true crime podcasts and whatnot. I don't know. Candy. It's on Hulu. I assume very soon. Actually, I think they had a date on this. It was like May 9th. Yeah, May 9th. So check it out. I think it'll be interesting. Just don't think it'll be disturbingly. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Bitchute, Odysee, and Rumble for more bass takes. I gotta get to bed. We'll see you tomorrow.